We will look at a very interesting company. First off, we read this disclaimer carefully and do your good deed of the day by liking and subscribing. We will look at one of the megatrends. I call it fixed vision and hearing. Performance is it is beating the market. If you look at the stocks here, you can see that it definitively is rather mixed. You have some huge performance and some more mediocre ones. So the essence of this theme is that vision and hearing problems are problems that people really want to fix fast. It's obviously very handicapping to have issues with those senses. Hence, there is this strong demand for any kind of solutions here. We will look at STAAR Surgical in this video. They make artificial lenses. It is the best performing from the 52-week low. Rather decent as well regarding the 52-week highs. If we go here to the company's website, they have over 1 million lenses implanted worldwide. 99.4% of patients would have ICL procedure again. So STAAR designs, develops, manufactures, and markets implantable lenses for the eye with companion delivery systems. These lenses are intended to provide visual freedom for patients, lessening or eliminating the reliance on glasses or contact lenses. All of the lenses are foldable, which permits the surgeon to insert them through a small incision. I personally use contact lenses due to nearsightedness. And yeah, I think it's very interesting that we have all of these, innovative companies in this space. Okay, let's first look at the seasonality. So this is the percentage of months in which this stock closed higher than it opened over the last 20 years. January is one of the weakest months here for STAAR. That's an issue. So it closes higher only 35% of the time. So the seasonality is bearish. If we go here to the charts, this is all the history we have. We can go way back here to 1992. And you can see that this is the primary trend for STAAR. It has rallies and pullbacks rather frequently. And the pullbacks, they tend to be rather significant. This pullback here, as an example, was minus 68%. So notwithstanding that there's an overall bull market, it doesn't really matter for this stock. It will have bull markets and bear markets whenever it feels like. You see, though, that the primary development here has been this well, it isn't really a textbook rounding bottom, but it is certainly a rounding-ish pattern. You see here where the buyers have gained leverage, and we have broken out above all of these prior resistance levels. So that is very, 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 very good, of course. From this low here to the recent all-time high, 8,250%. I mean, that's pretty decent. So that's the primary, theme here. It certainly has seen this major breakout. But even during this breakout, it had these very frequent and deep pullbacks. This pullback here as an example. Well, let's look at this one as an example, because this we don't want to get into this whole virus lockdown situation. So let's look at here. This is this is 2019. Minus 45%, all of a sudden, huge pullback. This rally here was a whopping, 60%, and this is very volatile. Given that, this move, of course, it shows that the bulls are here, but given the history of this stock, there's risk here. As far as putting on a bullish position, there is danger given the long-term history of this security. We know how it likes to trade. It goes up and it goes down big. We are seeing this exhaustion here in the candlesticks, so the bears are starting to get, more aggressive. We see completely different action here from the bears than we saw here or here. Here, the bulls are just letting it rip. Here, there is more of a battle. Given the seasonality, there are some issues. So I would categorize this as a risky situation here for bulls. The AD line did not corroborate this rally either. That's a bearish divergence. You also here have some bearish divergence on the RSI. There's a 77% positive correlation with S&P 500. But if we go here to the daily data points, 73%, because of how this stock moves, there's been times where the correlation is very negative. Like back here, you had the minus 60% negative correlation with S&P 500. And as an example here, it is 80%. So the correlation can move a lot. That's due to, the more erratic nature of this security. Looking here at the daily data point, STAAR is having, a strong day today. It could, break out above this level here. You could make the case that this is an inverse head and shoulders pattern, shoulder, head, and shoulder. Sure, if we do get a breakout, that could certainly become a catalyst for more upside to this stock. However, that doesn't really change the bigger picture. The bigger picture is that the rallies usually are followed by deep corrections. Okay, so let's now look a bit at some other metrics. Here you can see Finviz. They draw this trend line. You certainly could make the case that this blue trend line has been a rather clear support level. I'm not a huge fan of diagonal trend lines because of how many people can draw different kinds of lines, but this is actually makes sense. I think you can see yourself that there's a very substantial amount of interaction here between the candlesticks and the trend line. They also draw in some resistance here. If you look at the analyst, let's look at the performance. This is not updated data because year to date is not 125%. So let's reload. Okay, so maybe Finviz hasn't done this calculation yet because, this is a new year. But anyway, let's look at the analyst price targets. And by the way, when we actually look at investing.com, then the stock is trading for $83. Okay, so if we go here to, so definitively, there are some issues here with Finviz. But the analyst price targets are something to look at. They suggest only around 1.7% upside, which is rather mediocre. So basically, based on that, and also when we go here to Saks.com, they have a number 4 sell, F value score, B growth, B momentum, B GMMFC. So putting it all together, there's not much upside here when it comes to the fundamentals. Okay, so let's put it all together. The theme is strong. I'm very bullish on the theme. That's bullish. So big thumbs up for the theme. Looking at the seasonality, certainly suggesting some weakness here to the early part of the year. The seasonality is much stronger heading towards the summer times. Looking at the charts, the primary trend is problematic because this security really likes to have those steep pullbacks. It's been a bit of a protracted time now without one of those steep ones, and they are common. I think actually we can draw some time cycles. Let's see how reliable the time cycles are. And I mean, there is certainly some cyclicality here as well that would suggest some pullback on the horizon. And also when we look at the fundamentals, they suggest it's fair, it's basically fully priced. So yeah, I do expect some pullback here for this stock, which could open up a good entry opportunity. Of course, if you are into more bearish strategies, then there are certainly ways to profit during a pullback. But yeah, I think that all evidence together, looking at the coming months, I'm thinking a bit more bearishly than bullishly.